Welcome back. In our first explainer for harmonic warfare, we saw how sound could literally become a murder weapon. Well, today we are diving headfirst into episode 2, the echo chamber. And trust me, this is where the silence gets even deadlier than the noise. We're about to see a simple mystery spiral into a conspiracy that is just terrifying.
So, the episode just kicks off with this absolutely bone-chilling hook. Just picture it. You're in a packed opera house, the music is swelling, the soprano hits that incredible final note, and then just nothing. A complete, perfect silence that feels heavier, more present than any sound you've ever heard. Now, this is the question that really drove the first episode, right? We learned all about infrasound and how it could be used to pull off a silent assassination. But the echo chamber, well, it takes that whole concept and asks something way, way more complex. See, this time, it's not just about creating a deadly sound. It's about using sound to literally erase other sounds, and more importantly, about hiding secrets inside the quiet that's left behind.
Okay, so let's start exactly where our hero, Elias Thorne, does, with the crime scene, this completely baffling, impossible event at the Oak Haven Opera House.
The scene itself is just a collection of details that make no sense. It's not just that the music stopped. The silence itself felt heavy, pressurized. And at the very same instant, every single glass of water in the VIP lounge just shatters. This is no power outage. This is physics being used as a weapon with terrifying precision. And this is the principle that Thorne immediately realizes is at play. He figures out that someone didn't just mute the opera. No, they broadcast a perfect inverse sound wave that met the soprano's note and just canceled it out. They literally used sound to create a targeted bubble of absolute silence. So, of course, this leads us to the investigation. Thorne knows this was no prank. That kind of engineered silence was a cover for something much, much bigger. And his search for answers takes him deep into the hidden guts of the city itself. And this sequence is where you see Thorne's methodical genius just shine. First, he finds the source of the silence, this incredibly high-tech device hidden up in the chandelier. Then, when he's analyzing the security footage, he finds that the silence wasn't empty. It had a hidden data pulse inside of it, like a sonic watermark. And that is the breadcrumb he needed to trace where that signal went next. And here is the brilliant twist. The bad guys are using Oak Haven's own infrastructure against it. The huge citywide network of water pipes is basically acting as a hard line for their secret sonic data. It's like an acoustic internet hidden right under everyone's feet. By tapping into this network, Thorne actually overhears a distorted conversation, and a name comes through the static: the tuner. But, they realize he's listening. A high-frequency screamer pulse gets sent right down the line. It's a sonic counterattack that almost deafens him and triggers his hyperacusis. The threat is now very personal and very, very real. So he follows that lead. He tracks the signal's origin to this old, decommissioned steel foundry. He thinks he's the hunter, but what he doesn't know is that he's walking right into a very elaborate trap. Now, this principle right here is absolutely key. You've heard of an opera singer shattering a wine glass, right, by hitting a note that matches its resonant frequency? Well, the tuner is about to do the exact same thing, but his wine glass is a massive concrete cooling tower with Thorne trapped inside. This moment is just pure terror. The tuner flips a switch, and the entire concrete and steel structure starts to vibrate violently. The sound is so intense that Thorne's vision blurs. The walls around him are cracking and buckling. You can't escape a sound that is literally shaking your prison apart. But Thorne isn't a brawler. He's a scientist. He knows he can't fight the sound, so he has to outthink it. And this leads to one of the most clever escapes I have ever seen in any show. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It's a battle of physics. The tuner's trap depends on matching one specific frequency. So what does Thorne do? He grabs a piece of iron and smashes open a pressurized steam valve. That sudden blast of steam instantly changes the mass and the pressure inside the tower. And if you change the mass of an object, you change its natural resonant frequency. Suddenly, the tuner's sound is no longer a perfect match. The harmonic lock is broken, and that catastrophic vibration, it just stops. Thorne basically changed the key of the tower, and the song fell apart, saving his own life with maybe a second to spare. Unbelievable.
So Thorne manages to catch the tuner, but the victory feels kind of empty because the real shock, the actual reason for everything we've just seen, is waiting for him back in his lab. As he's being arrested, the tuner says this. A luthier, is someone who makes instruments like violins. He's basically saying, hey, I'm not the composer. I just build the instruments for a much, much larger and scarier orchestra. Back at his studio, Thorne finally cracks the data packet that was hidden inside the Opera House silence. He's expecting to find attack plans, or a list of targets, something to explain all this violence. But what he finds is so much more sinister. It's a library of what the files call vocal blueprints, perfect, synthesized digital clones of the voices of key public figures. He sees the mayor, the chief of police, and then he sees the final file. He plays it, and it's the voice of his own dead father, synthesized perfectly, calling his name.
And this is the horrifying truth of it all. The silence at the opera wasn't for transmitting data, it was for recording it. They used the soprano's high note as a kind of carrier wave to scan the vocal cords of everyone in the VIP lounge. They're not just creating weapons, they are stealing voices, building a library to create perfect vocal deepfakes of anyone they want.
And that is the question the episode leaves us with. The threat is no longer about sonic weapons that can kill you. It's about a technology that can destroy the very idea of truth. If you can't even trust a perfect audio recording, what evidence can you believe? Who can you ever truly trust again?